Welcome to my weekly podcast on a way to a dream. Here I will talk about what stops you from achieving your goals, how to set goals effectively, and finally, how to make your dreams come true. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about the fact that all life events are actually neutral, so they are not bad or good, which we humans are defining them to be, of course. And we're going to talk about how important it is to know which angle you're looking at your life from, and then how does that impact the quality of life that you eventually live. Let's go. So, in my last video, I've mentioned about my relocation to Barcelona. So I really wanted to live there. And in case you did not watch the video, guys, make sure to tap and watch it. But so essentially what I was saying there is that it did not work out as I wanted it to initially to be. And that came out as a great life experience to me still. So why so? I look at every single... Firstly, of course, it's always possible to find some positive in whatever it is that is happening to you. And I think sometimes we're even fed up with all this Instagram and like all life coaches around us telling us, oh, this is for the best, or this is for the best. And especially when we are suffering in a moment, this is for the best, honestly just kills it, You're like, I don't want to listen to this. Don't talk to me at all. So I actually don't want to be that person now telling you that everything is really like meant to be in our lives. No, that's not what I'm trying to say, even though it probably is the case, but that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that the way you look at something that happens in your life really defines on how you kind of move on from that point and type of a personality you become versus your previous one, the future one versus your past one kind of thing. So on the example of my Barcelona experience, what happened is I kind of failed in getting what I really wanted. I mean, I did move to the desired city, the kind of, the Barcelona was really everything I was thinking about. But eventually, the living there was completely different to what I expected it to be. And then what I could have felt is, oh my God, I failed, my dream did not come true, or actually something is really wrong with me, and kind of all these type of things. But also, I could have had really like, when I tell about this experience to people, I could be saying that like, oh, like this terrible experience of mine, or this terrible part of my life, or this terrible time of my life. And then when feeling that about myself, like for 3 years, I probably would be a different person versus what I am today, and I would probably feel differently because, I'm genuinely talking about 3 years, which kind of crossed out of my life, and I wasn't happy there, and kind of like, it's a different thinking, different state, and I think you just need to be a different person to feel like that. What instead you could always do is find some good for yourself in it. And also what I tend to see is, even if you actually do so, I'm not hiding the fact that it wasn't to my liking, my time of living in Barcelona. So I'm actually not trying to pretend that it actually was super good. No, but I'm trying to firstly find some positive things which did happen to me during that time. And I'm again sharing that in my full-length video, so make sure to watch it. And apart from that, what I'm trying to also remind myself is that I make it good or bad experience. So my mind defines it. And the reason I say now that it wasn't good is because I expected something different and then I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, this is really bad now. But if I evaluate without any expectation, just the pure experience, was it really bad? No, not really. I mean, it was good. It just wasn't what I wanted really to have, so I think it's really crucial to remember that we are the ones putting the color to all the events which are happening in our life. And sometimes we think they are bad, but they actually aren't. It's just kind of our perception tells us that this is something bad that happens to us. And the last part, what I wanted to share with you today is, so them sequences of everything that happens in your life, if you start seeing them as positive ones, as some like life experience that you've got, some like, some stories to tell that you're proud of, that you actually benefited from in a way, you will see how differently you approach your next living chapter, your next chapter of living, and that also defines, it basically kind of forms your mindset, which helps you set yourself for success. Because whatever happens to you, you're gonna be benefiting out of it, whatever it is. And then you no longer need to define them things as good or bad, because you just know that you're going to benefit from them in any way. So that's it for today. Really short insight that I wanted to share with you guys. And please do share in the comments how you feel about it. Does it make sense? Could you relate to it or not? Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!